The most basic expression of existence is that it knows itself. Knowing is experience. Knowing and experience is the same thing. And I have also mentioned that in pure consciousness, there are infinite modes of knowing and experience, but also infinite knowers and infinite entities known. This is a simple fact at the heart of every experience. Something is known. A thought appears. A sensation moves through the body. A memory rises. A face is recognized. A tree is seen. A question forms in the mind. And wherever something is known, there's also a knower. There is the one who hears, the one who sees, the one who feels, the one who remembers, the one who asks. And between the knower and the known, there is knowing itself. So this is the basic structure of experience. The knower, the knowing, and the known. Subject, process, object. I know this, but if we look more deeply, this structure begins to soften because the knower is also known. You can notice the sense I. You can observe your thoughts. You can be aware of your emotions. You can witness the body. You can even notice the feeling of being a separate self. So who is the one aware of the self? And the known is never outside knowing as well. A sound, a color, a thought, a person, a star, a body, a world, all appear only in awareness. We never encounter anything outside experience. We only encounter what is revealed within consciousness. And knowing itself cannot be held as an object. You can know a thought, you can know a sensation, you can know an image, but can you turn knowing into a thing? Knowing is that by which everything appears. It is present before the thought, during the thought, after the thought. It is the silent light of experience. So in the language of Advaita Vedanta, this light is consciousness itself. Not consciousness is a private possession of the human brain, but consciousness as the very ground of existence. Brahman, pure being, pure awareness. The reality in which all names and forms appear. From the ordinary point of view, there are billions of separate knowers. Humans, animals, birds, insects, perhaps even forms of intelligence we do not yet understand. Each being seems to stand at the center of its own world. I stand in the center of my own world, as do you, and as do over 8 billion people, just humans. Think of all the other creatures. The human knows through language and memory. The bird knows through flight and song. The bee knows through scent, movement, and the geometry of flowers. The tree knows light, water, season, and soil in its own silent way. The body knows how to heal a wound. The heart knows grief before the mind can explain it. Not all knowing is conceptual. This is important. Human beings often imagine that thought is the highest form or only form of knowing, but life is filled with intelligences that do not speak in sentences the way you and I speak. The roots of a forest communicate. The immune system recognizes what belongs and what does not. The migrating bird senses invisible fields. The infinite knows the mother before it knows language. The body knows balance before the mind can describe gravity. Existence is not only thinking, existence is sensing, feeling, responding, adapting, remembering, becoming. It expresses itself as innumerable knowers, innumerable modes of knowing, and innumerable things known. But these are not ultimately separate. They are movements of one reality, one consciousness appearing as many centers of experience, one light, reflected in countless minds and bodies, one ocean arising as countless waves. Each wave has its shape, each wave has its movement, each wave has its moment. But no wave is ever separate from the ocean. In Kashmir Shaivism, this becomes even more intimate. Consciousness is not merely a passive witness. It is creative, it is dynamic, it becomes the world through its own freedom. Shiva is not elsewhere. Shiva appears as the one who sees. Shakti appears as the power of seeing. The world appears as what is seen. The seer, seeing, and scenery are one pulsation of consciousness. That pulsation is called spanda, the sacred vibration of being. This means that every moment of perception is not ordinary. It is existence meeting itself. When you hear the wind, existence is appearing as the listener, the hearing, and the wind. When you touch a hand, existence is appearing as the one who touches, the sensation of touch, and the one being touched. When you look into the eyes of an animal, existence is looking at itself from two directions. When you ask, "Who am I?" existence has become self-inquiry. The universe is not a collection of dead objects waiting to be observed by a human subject. It is a living field, a field of living relationship. Everything participates, everything reveals, everything belongs to the great act of knowing. And this recognition changes how we live. If I believe I'm the only true subject, then everything else becomes an object for me. The earth becomes a resource, oil, and war. Animals become commodities. Other people become instruments of my desire or fear. But if the same existence shines through all beings, then nothing is merely an object. The tree is not just wood. The river is not just water. The animal is not just instinct. The stranger is not just a role. The body is not just matter. The world is not just scenery. Each is a face of the one divine self. Each is a doorway into reverence. This does not mean all beings know in the same way. A human being and a flower do not have the same kind of mind. A dolphin and a mountain do not participate in existence in the same manner. Difference is real at the level of expression, but separation is not ultimate. The forms disappear. The forms differ. The forms are different. The essence is one. The instruments differ. The light is one. The songs differ, but the silence from which they arise is one. Spiritual awakening is the recognition of this unity within diversity. It is not the destruction of the world. It is not the denial of individuality. It is not the rejection of form. It is seeing form as the expression of the formless. It is seeing the many as the play of the one. It is seeing that the knower, knowing, and known are three faces of a single mystery. In ordinary experience, I say, I'm here, the world is there. In deeper awareness, I see the world is appearing in consciousness. In awakening, even that distinction dissolves. There is only consciousness appearing as this moment, as breath, as sound, as thought, as body, as space, as another being, as the one who wonders, and as the wondering itself. Existence becomes innumerable knowers, so it can behold itself from every angle. It becomes innumerable modes of knowing, so it can taste itself as a thought, a sensation, an instinct, an intuition, as love, as silence, as awe. It becomes innumerable entities known, so the infinite can appear as a world. The one does not remain hidden behind the many. The one shines as the many. And perhaps the deeper spiritual practice is to pause just for a moment and recognize this too is existence knowing itself. This breath, this body, this sound, this moment, this other being, this vast, mysterious world, all of it is the play of awareness. All of it is the movement of the same sacred presence. The knower is that, the knowing is that, the known is that. Tattvam asi. You are that.